mobility for pinched nerve in the neck. That is our topic for tonight. Last week, we spoke about how to figure out if you're dealing with a pinched nerve in the neck and what to do and what questions to ask, when to see your doctor, when to see your physical therapist, and when to progress on from that. Typically, it's from numbness, tingling, and burning anywhere from the neck all the way down the arm into the fingers. But it's a little bit more complicated than that. So make sure you do your diligent research on it. Don't just go on WebMD, right? Ask a physical therapist, ask a doctor, ask someone you know in the field of healthcare, so you can kind of learn a little bit more about it. So diving into tonight's topic, mobility for a pinched nerve in the neck, we're going to talk about three things in detail. Number one is nerve gliding. Number two is stretching of the upper traps and levator scap. Number three is mobilizations of the cervical spine and the thoracic spine directly below it, or the mid-back, you could say. Okay, so diving into it, nerve gliding, what is it? Before I go through and tell you what it is, I'm actually going to share my screen and show you guys a picture of what nerve gliding looks like. So if you give me 1 second here, we'll give this a second to load as we share. So you guys should be able to see my screen now. This is literally what a nerve glide is. Okay, this is a nerve glide for your median nerve, which connects it kind of runs from here, goes through the elbow, right, comes down and comes on this area. This is the nerve that gets compressed when you have carpal tunnel syndrome, and it can cause numbness and tingling to your kind of inner three fingers there, okay? Anywhere from the base to the top of the fingers. And sometimes that pain can be coming from your neck. And if you do have arm pain or hand pain and it's coming from your neck, this will actually help glide the nerves more smoothly because the nerves sit in a tunnel. It's like a connective tissue sheath. Imagine a lot of cars sitting in traffic in a tunnel, it gets congested. Same thing happens to your nerves. They get stuck in that sheath. This is going to help them get unstuck. So all he's doing is his symptoms are in his right hand and his right wrist area and elbow. He's just trying to extend his arm and move his head at the same time. So you side bend towards that right arm as you extend your arm out to the side. So here, let me show this again. So again, he's extending. Sorry about the lag, guys. So he's extending his head to the right and extending his arm. So side bend to the right and extend your arm to the right. That's a simple nerve glide for the median nerve. Make sure you look up and you figure out which nerve is affected, because if you do the wrong exercise for this one, you can actually potentially make it worse. So be careful with that one. Okay, so that is nerve gliding. Again, we want to do it. You can actually do it for nerves in your lower back too. We're dealing with sciatica. There are multiple techniques you can do for that. So look up sciatic nerve glides if you're interested in that. We're not going to dive into it because it gets a little more complex. The other thing we're going to talk about, topic number two, is stretching of the upper traps and levator scap. And a lot of people who have a pinched nerve, they get really tight in their upper traps and their levator scaps, just behind the neck area there. Kind of runs kind of crossway like this. So you want to really help open up those muscles and increase flexibility. Sometimes a soft tissue massage helps to do first, or a nice hot warm pack on it for 5 to 10 minutes. And then you want to go into doing these light stretches as long as you can tolerate them. If you can't tolerate them, then ask someone like your husband, your wife, maybe your kids or a therapist to do it. Have them do the stretch for you while you're laying on your back so you're in a more relaxed position. This is the upper trap stretch. I typically recommend you do 3 repetitions of this for about a 15 to 20 second hold. All you're doing is you hook one side down. I'm holding onto the bottom of the bench and I'm pulling my ear over towards the arm here. Okay, and I should feel the stretch all across this side. Then I'll switch to the other side, keep my shoulder blade down, pull the head across, and I should feel the stretch on this upper trap. Okay, so again, 15 to 20 seconds, all you can tolerate, 3 repetitions on each side. All right, that will get that muscle nice and loose. We'll calm it down a little bit. Another big thing is to try and breathe through your lower stomach as you're doing this. Try not to breathe through your accessory muscles like your pec muscles, your upper traps up here, your scalenes. Try and breathe through this lower area, meaning like let your belly kind of move out on the inhale and suck in on the exhale. All right, levator scap stretch is very similar to the upper trap. Right, this is just getting a different muscle group. Same exact setup. I'm hooking my hand under the bench. I'm looking towards my armpit there on this side, and I'm using my hand on this side to pull my head down, but I'm not moving my trunk and I'm not moving my shoulder. I'm doing 3 reps and holding for 15 to 20 seconds again, and then I'm switching sides to here. This shoulder doesn't move, it stays pinned down. Okay, make sure you have good posture when you do it. Make sure you don't overarch your back or anything like that. Take your time with it, breathe through your lower stomach, 3 reps, 15 to 20 seconds. That should get those traps nice and loose as you kind of go through your rehab. Okay, give that a shot. That is number two. And then number three is mobilizations, which is a kind of a crazy word of the cervical, meaning neck, and thoracic, meaning mid-back spine. Okay, so these are simple, right? If you had a therapist, mobilization means the therapist is going to be pressing on the joints with their hands. They can press down, they can press kind of down diagonal, up and out. Just depends on where you're limited with your range of motion. So if you did your physical examination from last week that we talked about, and you were very tight and your joints were stiff, then you would really benefit from mobilizations of the spine and having a therapist work on you. Or for your thoracic spine, you can kind of do them on your own. You can lay across a foam roller, right? You can put a foam roller behind your back the long way, so it's horizontal, and you can just put your hands behind your head and lean back over that foam roller. And that's going to help open up your thoracic spine so you get a little more extension, gets a little more space between the vertebrae, which takes some stress off of the neck. Another great one is a doorway pec stretch. So yes, it stretches your pec muscles, but it's also going to stretch your mid back. If you put your arms in a doorway and you lean forward, that's going to really help open up that tissue between the shoulder blades and at the base of the neck area. Those are two great ones. I also like thoracic rotation, like open books, if you've ever heard of those. So if you lay on your side on the ground, put one leg over the other, and you kind of reach your arm across your body and let your head follow your arm. It's a great exercise to do to open up the back. Some of them that I do while I'm sitting here working between clients is I'll hook my hand on my opposite leg and I'll try and twist away, and I'll do the same thing and I'll try and twist away. And that's another way to improve my thoracic rotation. Or some people like to kind of do this and then twist fully to this, twist fully to the other way. You can toy around with it, but doing all three of those things is going to be really helpful and beneficial to get your mobility back in your first phase of treatment before you get into strengthening, which we're going to talk about next week. So that is the topic for tonight, guys. Figuring out how to mobilize or get mobility, meaning range of motion back from a pinched nerve in the neck. Make sure you go slow. Make sure you keep track of your symptoms. Tell your therapist. Number one was nerve gliding. Number two is stretching of the upper traps and levator scap muscles. Number three is mobilizations of the cervical and thoracic spine. So if you guys have questions, please link them down below. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you understand kind of how to tackle this issue. Our goal is to help you guys avoid having to spend all the money through copays and things like that. But if you need to, go through therapy. And if you're still having trouble or you're struggling, we're going to help you get back to your normal weightlifting routine. We typically help people after they get out of PT through online coaching. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel, and we will see you guys next week. Have a great one. Bye.